Hey everybody, welcome back. This is episode number 10 of the Real Talk Real Estate Show. And boy oh boy, today we have a good one scheduled. You may have heard, maybe you haven't, but this week the Federal Reserve increased our interest rates a quarter point again. So in today's episode, we're going to tell you exactly what you need to know and what impact this rate hike will have on our local real estate market. Check this one out. So this is big economic news. I mean, when the Federal Reserve increases its interest rate by a quarter point, the market rate that we actually end up getting over here when we're purchasing a car, a house, is going to be higher. And subsequently, when they drop interest rates, our market interest rates on mortgages, on car loans, on credit cards are going to be subsequently lower. So what just happened yesterday, there's what's called a benchmark interest rate. And that has gone up now for the second time in 3 months by a quarter percent, which doesn't have a huge impact on today's interest rates necessarily because the market did anticipate that this was going to happen. So that rate was already baked into what a lot of mortgage rates are currently. But what this does tell us is that we've seen a change in federal policy, which goes back, let's face it, back to the Great Recession. In the middle of 2009, 2010, there was a crisis where the banks stopped lending money and the federal government wanted to be highly involved with our economy because things were spiraling out of control in a hurry. So what they did is they artificially dropped the federal interest rate to zero, even less than that, which is a whole nother subject. So the cost of borrowing money would be a lot cheaper. So those of us who could and wanted to could buy houses at a great interest rate, could buy cars. And if you recall, that was all happening and we got really spoiled for 7, 8, 9 years in a row with these incredibly cheap interest rates. Well, what we're seeing now is that chapter being closed by the Federal Reserve. And it makes sense. Listen, the Federal Reserve, any government has an interest in the economy doing well. But the last thing they want to do when the stock market is going up, when real estate markets are going up, when everything's going up, 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 it is easy for inflation to get out of control. So that's the last, and that simply means the value of your dollar is going down, down, down in our country and around the world. So they don't want to see that happen. So it's a natural thing to try to take inflation and just guide it, or at least decrease the possibility of a rapid rate of inflation. So the Federal Reserve has these meetings, they make these decisions all the time. But again, what this is indicating now, because we've seen 2 rate hikes in the last 3 months, is that chapter in our economy is really coming to a conclusion. That has a major impact on our real estate markets. It also has a major impact if you're looking at your credit card debt, a major impact if you're looking at car loans, other types of loans, your savings account, which don't get too excited. Those rates are not high enough yet to really yield you a return in a standard savings account, which, anyway, we're not going to get into that. But to our real estate market, see, this is where it makes a big impact. In our area where the median home price in your community is probably $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, where people are taking out mortgages for $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, an increase in interest rate on market interest rates, what you end up taking out when you go to your local bank and get a mortgage, that rate being more expensive just by a quarter point or 0.5%, that makes a pretty large difference in your monthly payment on a $500,000 loan. So let me be specific. I mean, I looked at it this time last year, right? We're not talking that long ago. The average rate was 3.68% on a 30-year fixed loan. That is not a lot, right? I mean, that's historically just, it's unbelievable. But let's face it, be honest about it. We were all spoiled with those rates for many, many years. Under 4% for a 30-year fixed mortgage. So again, when you're talking about a $500,000, $600,000 purchase, that's really nice. You're paying less interest on a monthly basis. That means the amount of house you can purchase either goes up or your savings goes up because you're not spending that money in interest on your mortgage payment. Well, if you took out a 30-year fixed loan today, I checked it out this morning, we're averaging 4.21% for that same 30-year fixed mortgage. So let's be honest, this rate hike has had an impact already in our mortgage markets. And so there's another thing called the Fed dot plot, which is just a simple way where policymakers are making projections for short-term interest rates. And according to that dot plot, we're looking at 3 total rate hikes in 2017 alone, which means we have more to go. And according to that same plan, They're anticipating 3 more rate hikes in 2018 and then another 3 in 2019. In short, interest rates could, in a hurry, market interest rates on 30-year mortgages, in a hurry, could be in the 6% range in the next year or two. So here's my advice. What does this all mean? Well, it means a couple different things. Essentially, what we talked about, it means that we've concluded a chapter in our economy where the cost of borrowing money has been way low. It means that the Federal Reserve believes the federal government believes we have a good economy, but is a little bit worried about inflation in a sense, increasing the rates to make sure that inflation levels stay at their lovely 2% or thereabouts. It also means that your savings accounts are probably going to do a little bit better moving forward, but that real estate is a good hedge against rising interest rates. And that's a whole nother subject we'll get into. But if you're sitting on the fence thinking about that refinance because you have a higher interest rate than you know you could get today, or you're sitting on the fence because you want to make that purchase, your family's growing, life's changing, whatever the case is, maybe you're a first-time home buyer, you've been renting for a decade, and it's time to finally get in and buy something. Well, listen, now is the time. Do not wait. This ship is getting ready to sail, and it's getting ready to sail and not come back into port maybe in our lifetimes. I would hope so, but you just don't know. If we don't get to a place where we have another crisis in the economy, this new normal that we've been experiencing, I think, is gone from this. So it's important to notice that if you're on the fence with some of these decisions, take a hard look at it. If you're dealing with interest rates on your credit cards, take a look at it. Rates are going up. That is the message. The Fed made it clear yesterday, and I hope if you learn nothing else in this episode is that we are into a new chapter in our economy when it comes to rates. So that's what I wanted to bring to you and make it relevant because, again, this is something that we'll continuously see over the coming months and definitely years. And I've told you this show is about you, for you. I've gotten your questions on some of these topics, so I want to make it clear. If you have any other questions or you just want I've done a lot of these videos on different things that are going on in our real estate markets and our economy, go to my website, www.thefoxgroupdc.com. It's on behind me. And if you go to press and you click there and you see our videos tab, you will be able to see a number of videos that we've done on a range of subjects. So that includes buying, selling, whatever the case is. And as always, you can submit your questions using the hashtag AskJohnFox, or you can email me at info@thefoxgroupdc.com, and I'll always get back to you. So that's where we're going to leave it today. We can't wait to talk about this some more, but in the meantime, I hope you keep your eye on what's going on and make decisions that are best for you. Until next time, thanks.